Hey you guys, in this video I wanted to talk about Book of Shadows and Book of Mirrors and the different kind of books that you can have in your spiritual path. And I wanted to show you some of my books that I have and that I have started. None of them I have finished, so but some that I have started. So yeah, let's begin. Okay, so the first book I wanted to show you is the first book that I had started. It's my big book of Wiccan information, and it has duct tape on it because it's falling apart. But it was my very first one, so it's very important to me. But yeah, this is, well, some people would say this is actual, a book of shadows, but in my opinion, it's not. It's just basically stuff that I found on the internet or something that I have seen written in a book, and I wrote it or typed it out and put it in this book. I didn't put it in my own words or nothing like that, simply because I did not know exactly at the time when I started this book of what I wanted and did not want in my actual Book of Shadows. So, yeah, this is why I did this. And it's packed. It's just a 3-ring binder, as you can see. Just 3-ring binder with like 30 different tabs in it. But yeah, so it starts with all this stuff that's in the way. My first tab is Coven information. When I first started in the spiritual path, I was in a coven. So this is just like a lot of our coven stuff that we had. And then my next tab is Sacred Text. And like I said, now this is just stuff that I have printed off that, I didn't put into my own words. Just, stuff like that. Nothing, yeah. And then my next tab is Wiccan Laws. And, it just has a lot of different laws that there is and stuff like that. Because now that I have, started my actual Book of Shadows, I can look back at this and see, that some of this stuff I didn't want in my actual Book of Shadows. Some stuff I didn't agree with and stuff like that. The next is charges. A bunch of different charges. Invocations. Prayers, chants, blessings, poems, songs, and stories. It's all in this section. And I did little dividers in each one so I can know, behind like what some is. This one's blessings. I have no blessings in here because I actually have them written down somewhere. I was using them the other day. I forgot to put them in here. Chants. My poems. Songs. And this is actually stories, but I didn't get to write that down. And then the next section is all about Wicca, and it also has the tabs in them that I haven't done yet. Then Gods and Goddesses. I have tons of them from different pantheons. Pantheons, I guess I said that right. And then I have the Sabbats. The S-spots and moon phases is in this section. Oh, my pages are falling out. Wow. Then I have Casting a Circle, and then the book doesn't want to stay. Casting a Circle. What's this one? Altars, different ways you can set up your altar. Rituals. I don't have many in here, and I will show you why I don't have many in here. This one is spells. Now, all these spells in here are spells that I have printed out or I copied from a book or something like that. That's all the spells that I have in here. Recipes. Recipes for like teas. What else? Like bath recipes and stuff like that. And then this big old section is my table of correspondences. And it also has the little tabs in them. The elements and all that. That is actually my biggest tab, is my elements. And then this section is meditations. And then divination. And then, sorry, it's kind of hard to read it upside down. Alphabet, different alphabets. Now, I don't have it all printed out in this one, but it's actually in my actual Book of Shadows. I have like the Greek alphabet, the Egyptian alphabet, and other stuff like that. And I have Wiccan symbols, all the symbols. And then calendar of events. I have all of 2012's moons for every month, the sunrise and sunset times and stuff like that is all written in that part. And then I have lessons and exams that I have taken. I will print like the lessons out so I can study them. And then I have like the exams that I have taken and stuff. Some of them I didn't do so hot on. Huh. But yeah. Then the next section is the glossary, which I have nothing in it. Chakras. Different kinds of magic. You know, like knot magic, candle magic, element magic, and the different types of magic and stuff. And I have how-tos right here, like how to smudge and how to concentrate your magical items and just different stuff like that. And then I don't have much in here. I have a section for angels. I haven't got into the angels yet, so I don't know if I will. I don't know. And then I have a section about fairies. Same with angels. I don't know if I'm, yeah. And then I have tools back here. And yeah, so that's all this is mainly. And like I said, everything, you know, I just printed from the internet or I wrote from a book and I stuck it in this binder, so that way when I did do my actual Book of Shadows, I could go back and look and see if I agreed with a lot of stuff. So yeah, that was my very first book. Hope you enjoyed that. And my second book that I created was this little book. You can see it. It has Have Faith written on the back of it. And this, I bought this at a store called Ross. It was for $2.99, so I was very excited about it. And this is my book of spells. And I have this in here. I started this book when I was in my coven. So yeah. And in the back of it, I have, whew, when I started and ended my book, which I haven't ended it, so yeah. But yeah, so my book of spells. It's kind of hard to see that. I'm so sorry. And then I have my book blessing and the day I blessed it on and the moon phase and stuff like that. I haven't dedicated this book yet, but this right here is going to be my book dedication. And then I just have some stuff written in here. I have the threefold law, The Law of Power, the Four Powers of the Magus, but it's also known as the Witch's Pyramid. Some information about spell casting. 13 steps for successful spell casting. And then I have some information about writing your own spells. And then it goes into some of my spells. Now, this is what I do when I write spells. Now, if I wrote it, like I completely made up the whole thing, you know, other than the correspondences, of course, I will write, if you can see, written by Cherry Blossom. I will write that at the end of every single one of them. Now, if I found a spell and some of the stuff didn't, like it didn't connect with me, I didn't feel with it, so I like made it my own, I will write, you can see it, adapted by Cherry Blossom. But yeah, I don't have many spells in here. Those are the only spells that I have in this book. It's really thick. I've had it for a while. I just haven't had time to actually sit down and write spells and stuff. So yeah, that was the second book that I bought. And my third one is this one. I also bought it at Ross for $2.99, and it has Be Happy written on the front, and on the back it has Enjoy Life. Now, with that saying, like, it just spoke to me for my book of rituals, and that's why I don't have many rituals in the other book. And of course, you know, I was in my coven when I started this book, but I just have some pictures, and I have Protected by Witchcraft picture right there. And this one's kind of set up like the other one. My book lesson, book dedication. I have some different stuff in here. I have the purpose of rituals, about Wiccan rituals, circle casting, and then I go into invocations. I have a bunch of different ones, and I have like pictures on some pages. And then way back here, I go into charges. And then a little ways after the charges, I go into rituals, of actually writing down actual rituals. But yeah, that is my book of rituals. Now, this video is actually going longer than I expected, so I'm going to have to do 2 parts of this. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed the first part of some of my books. Look for the second part, which I will do immediately after this one. So, yeah. Blessed me.